I have a confession to make. When I was in seventh grade, I got an F in math. It turned out that there was something about algebra that I just didn't understand. I was so desperate to understand algebra that I read the textbook. There aren't many seventh graders you can say that about, but I read the textbook and I still didn't get it. Try as I might. I would look at my friends' papers and they weren't any better than mine. There were people that got it, but they were so self-important and sanctimonious, I couldn't go talk to them. There was certainly no talking to the teacher. That was just beyond the pale. And so I kept suffering. Everything the teacher said seemed to be, I don't know, in another language. And she would do all the work on the board, and it would look just like what the book said, and then she'd come up with an answer that seemed totally random and nothing like what I got. Week after week, I suffered with that until finally I kept flunking quizzes, and then finally I flunked the test. I got an F on my report card. And I still remember walking home that day so that I wouldn't have to show my parents quite as soon, and that I could assuage my sadness by having a pizza at the pizza parlor that was on the way home. And as I sat down with my parents for the inevitable talk, and they said what happened, and I shared with them my absolute inability to understand anything about algebra. And my mom asked for the book. I knew where the book was, which wasn't always true of every textbook, but this one I knew, and I went and got it, and I popped it down in front of her. I thought she just wanted to make sure that I knew I had a book. She opened it up to the beginning of the algebra section, and she said, "Let's see about this." And she actually worked through it with me. Now, I did improve enough to get C's and D's for the rest of the year. I didn't become a math whiz, and I do understand it better now. But I realized something important about that. That even though my parents expected me to get good grades, and I fooled them constantly, the fact was that that wasn't all there was to it. They understood sometimes there were things I wasn't going to understand. And they instilled in me right then that it was okay to ask for help in something I didn't understand. And that it wasn't admitting to being stupid, it was admitting to not being able to put it together, which in my mind they went together. And I think the wisdom that was shared with me that day at the kitchen table was that they're not. The fact was that the only stupid thing I could have done was to continue in my ignorance and to not ask for help. And I only say this because the fact is that the licensure exam website is set up specifically for that. It's a difficult task that you've set for yourself. You know it, and, well, many others do too. And the whole reason the site exists is because there's a lot to put together. And you'll notice that not only are there meditations that will help you put it together, but also study helps and even links to people that can tutor you. The fact is that when there's a hard task to do, I still have the bent within me to say, you know what? I'm going to power through it on my own. And it's in the graceful times that I remember sitting down with my parents and them saying, it's okay. It's okay to ask for help in a hard task. It's okay.